So we're still working on the master view controller. We have completed the first task, which was to load the categories. So now we have 6 objects in the categories variable, categories array. So next what we want is to complete the photos information for each of the category objects. You see that here we had left this one empty, and we're going to use this function right here in order to complete this task. So what it does is iterating through each object that we have in the self-categories array, and then we're going to run another 10 times in order to create a string objects and finally append this one in the photos property of each category object. So for the string object, that's going to be the category name followed by another piece of information. So here you see that we have declared this counter variable, and that's going to be an integer initialized at 0, and that's going to be incremented by 1 each time that we go through the loop. So that's going to be a loop which is going to run 10 times. So we're going to create 10 times a category name followed by a number, and then we're going to append this one to the photos property of each category. So that's going to follow actually this pattern. So we're going to be able to refer to each file name right here, fashion 0, fashion 1. So that's just the first example. And that's going to be added to this photos property. So that is the purpose right here. So what we're going to do is actually call this function. So once we're done loading the categories, so in the completion handler right here, you see, so you understand that the purpose is here to perform another task once one is finished, because you're not going to be able to actually append anything to an object that doesn't exist. So that's why we run first the load categories, and then we have a completion closure. Inside of this one, we're going to then call load photos like this. And in order to see how it works, we're going to put a breakpoint, because the breakpoint is going to allow to interrupt the code and to inspect how the code is performing. So basically we could put the breakpoint right here. We're going to see how this works. I'm going to put another one right here just in case. So we have a first, so I think it worked well. So once we've loaded the categories, so now we have 6 values, so that's going to be the six category objects, and for each of them now we have a name and also 10 values, so that corresponds to the photo. You see? So first we have the categories, so that's 6 of them. So that starts, for every array we start at 0, so the last one will be 5. Then the last category will be technology and the photos, and it has a number for each of them.